Today we're gonna do a little DIY and decorating, and I'm gonna share with you how I'm styling my house for this fall, and I cannot wait. I have already cleared the space and cleaned it. That is one of my very first things. Is I love this cleaning product from Mrs. Meyer's because of this acorn scent. If you ever see this, snatch it up. The clothes gets you in the mood for fall like I cannot even tell you. After that, I like to light a candle and just get to work. I always like to start with my mantle. It's a focal point in my living room, and what you don't see is there's actually a family photo right above. I always leave that, but I like to bring this back for most of the year, and this is actually a DIY that I made probably a couple years ago. It was a Hobby Lobby dupe. I saw it at Hobby Lobby for $75 and was able to do this for just around $6. But I love having my family on display. I know everyone's different about that, but this is gonna go in the center of my mantle, and then I am gonna style my fall decor around it. That's if I don't break it first. A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you some lanterns that I made. I got the idea from Courtney from Creative on the Cheap. I'm gonna link that video so you can see those lanterns. But to go inside of it, I wanted this wreath. I wanted a small fall wreath. Well, I picked up this greenery wreath from Joann's. It was 80% off. It was meant for spring, but it was so easy to transition into fall. All I did was grab this pumpkin pick from Walmart, cut off the pumpkin and the berries, hot glue them straight onto this spring wreath. Now is a fall wreath, and perfect to go inside of the larger lantern. The candlestick inside of the smaller one is actually from Hobby Lobby. It's part of their fall collection. I picked up that last year. They still have it this year too. And I picked up one of the larger ones this year. I love these because it kind of goes with anything black or brown. Such a great neutral color. If you can't tell, my fireplace is rather large. I am 5'4". Let me back up. So it dwarfs me. To balance out the lanterns, I have these candlesticks. Now these were so easy to do. These are actually a thrift store find. Originally, they were these like reddish brownish color, and they are heavy. Like think Colonel Mustard in the lavatory with the candlesticks, heavy. They are super heavy. All I did was grab these wooden pieces that you can pick up at Hobby Lobby. They come 4 in a pack. I glued one on each of these. Once that was set up and dried, I took them out to my spray tent. I gave them a good coat of some black spray paint, and these were done. It only took me a few minutes for each, and now I have some beautiful black candlesticks that I love. Can you hear that? Something I love hanging off of my mantle are garlands. This is one I actually picked up at Hobby Lobby probably 5 years ago, and they keep bringing it back every year. I love how simple it is. It's super easy, and even though I make my own and I hang them in other places of the house, I still like to hang this one, and you'll see where I'm going in just a minute and why I chose this one specifically to go on my mantle this time. For anyone wondering, there are little hooks underneath my mantle, and that's how I hang my garland. I get questions about that all of the time. To balance out the metal of the harvest, I have this, I'm gonna call it a milk jug. I don't think that's right though, but this tin. I got this at Hobby Lobby last Christmas on clearance, or after Christmas I should say, but they are carrying it again this year as well. So if this is something that you like, it's easy to find, and it's already 40% off. I'm gonna use this to hold some florals. Now when I'm putting florals in something like this, if I feel like it's too deep, I like to stuff it with either paper or tissue. You could also do the trick where you put like tape across it. There's so many different options out there, but I'm gonna stuff it with some paper this time, and then I'm gonna add my florals. The florals I have come from different places. I have some lamb's ear here that I pick up at Walmart. These pink ones actually came from Joann's, as well as the blue ones. And the little white flowers came from Walmart. I just love to collect flowers from different places. And if you can tell, I'm mixing a little bit of a softer palette, and I will be mixing that with a little bit more of a traditional palette as well. And you'll see what I mean as I bring everything together. To balance out that pinky purple color on the other side, I have this pampas grass. I got this actually from Amazon. To me, it actually looks like cattails, not pampas grass, but it still has that purple hue in it, which I think will really add to balancing. And so I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna place it in this little vase. I got this on clearance this spring at Hobby Lobby, and I paid $2.50 for this. Now this is where I want to bring in more of those traditional colors that everyone loves. Hobby Lobby is carrying faux leather pumpkins this year, and I think that these are just adorable, and I love adding different textures. Target Dollar Spot had these pumpkins last year. I hope they bring them back again this year because these are some of my favorite pumpkins. I love the texture on these and the color of these. I think they are gorgeous. Target Dollar Spot also had these pumpkins last year. I love these squishy ones. They brought these out the last few years. They just do different colors every year. But this color I think looks really good with that like lamb's ear. Plus it's a great complementary color to like that rust and the yellow. So beautiful. I honestly have no clue where I got this tin, but you can find tins like this almost anywhere and then paint it like a rusty color if this is something you want to incorporate into your decor as well. But it's a great way to store some extra pumpkins. So I'm going to place these Target Dollar Spot ones in here. Again, sticking with a little bit more of a traditional color scheme for these. And one more squishy pumpkin. I also have this round table right here, and this tray I picked up at Hobby Lobby. It is a part of their fall, but it is the perfect tray to go on this table. And I love decorating this table to go with the holidays because you see it when you walk into my front door. I picked up this picture at Hobby Lobby. It was part of their spring collection, but so it was only $10 when I got it on clearance. This thing is so heavy, you could lift weights with it. And I'm going to use the same combination of flowers that I used on my mantle in order to bring that combination kind of around the room. I really do love these colors. I think they're beautiful, and I definitely wanted to incorporate them in other parts of my home. The same trick that I did with that tin where I stuffed some paper, I went ahead and I stuffed a couple of bags in here to lift that up, because as you can tell, if I didn't, the stems would not go all the way down. But because I put the bags in here, then it lifts this up. And once I put the florals in, I have some really good height. I'm just gonna add a cream pumpkin on here. For the finishing touch, all I'm gonna do is add a candle. I actually got this from Courtney over at Creative on the Cheap. I love the combination of cream here with the only color coming from the florals. Here's one of my favorite items. I love this faux marble tray, and it was so easy to do. All I did was grab a scrap piece of wood that I had out in my garage and some faux contact marble paper. I got this at Target. So I cut out a piece just larger than the scrap wood and I wrapped it up. It is so much easier if you cut off your corners before you wrap it. This time I didn't do that. I had to cut them after. Trust me, cut them before. Save yourself the grief that I had to go through. Also, I decided to go ahead and wrap the ends first because it gave it a much more polished look. That way I didn't have 1,001 seams showing. I just had one single seam and it looked so much better that way. But once it's all wrapped up, you can leave it like this, or if you want to be a little extra like I am, you can add some handles. So I have these silver handles right here I wanted to put on. I didn't want to leave them silver. I decided to spray paint them gold, so I took them out to my tent, sprayed them, and to attach them, I just needed to screw them in. Now, if you want the screws to rest inside of the tray, you will need to go ahead and add a little bit of a bigger hole, so with a bigger bit on the bottom half, just a little bit big enough to get that screw to rest right inside or nest inside like you see here. But after that, this tray is done, and I absolutely love the way it looks. I think it looks high-end for a fraction of the price that you would pay in store. I love the way that it turned out, and even up close, it's really hard to tell that this is not marble. I think it looks really beautiful. So I really do like pictures to put flowers in, and I found this at a thrift store, and the colors are just perfect for fall. I thought it would be great. So I'm gonna add that on one side of the tray, along with these mums. I believe I got this possibly at Walmart. It could have been at Dollar Tree. It was one of those, so definitely just $1 for these. And I'm just gonna plop those right in there. Something super easy, nothing too fussy. The only thing left to do is add a few pumpkins. I have these concrete pumpkins from Dollar Tree. I love these this year. It's one of my favorites. Also, they have these concrete white ones as well. They are a little chalky. I'm going to warn you about that. And then Target Dollar Spot carried these a few years ago. It's just a smaller pumpkin that I want to incorporate on here as well, keeping things neutral on this side. So this time the only pop of color is coming from the picture, and I really like that. When I'm decorating, I like to think of all my spaces, including the ones that are down low. And I have a basket full of pumpkins underneath this table. It's not really an area that we're gonna use for anything else, so I do like to add different decor items down here. This basket is something that I picked up a couple years ago. I believe I got it at Hobby Lobby. More than likely, it was on clearance, but you can find things like this all the time. You can even look at a thrift store. And believe it or not, the pumpkins in here all together cost about what one single pumpkin at Hobby Lobby would cost, because a lot of these are just Dollar Tree pumpkins that I have wrapped in fabric or even toilet paper using free sticks for stems. Let me show you exactly how I did that. Using the orange foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree, they actually carry them in white now as well. So if you can find them in white, make sure you snatch those up. So I grabbed a utility knife and I cut a larger hole on top, and then a fabric of your choice. I always like to find it when it's on clearance. I cut it just slightly larger than the pumpkin. If it's a thinner fabric, you're gonna wanna double it up. After that, you're just gonna tuck it right into that hole. And then for the stem, you can grab a branch of a tree from your yard and cut it down, or Dollar Tree does carry these little wood pieces that you can just hot glue right on top. You can do the same thing with these smaller pumpkins from Dollar Tree as well. Just go ahead and remove the fabric that's on there, and then choose a different fabric that suits your coloring scheme, whatever better. Stuff it into that hole and then add a stem. Another option is to use toilet paper. I know sometimes that's in scarcities. At least you know you will always have some on hand, and you can get 4 pumpkins for $1 this way. If you want to have a fuller pumpkin, go ahead and unravel some of the toilet paper, wrap that around, and then you take your fabric, take it up and stuff it into the hole and add your stem on top. Super easy. Absolutely love doing this to get a few extra pumpkins for just a few dollars. For more fall inspiration, make sure you check out this video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!